In the Sahel, a region long seen as a symbol of instability, a dramatic shift has occurred. Ibrahim Traoré, an unlikely leader, has turned the tides of a conflict that seemed insurmountable. In a rapid and unexpected move, he orchestrated a strategic reversal that defied all global expectations. What happened in those critical hours, and how did it challenge decades old assumptions about power and resilience in the Sahel? Traoré's actions reveal a profound transformation. Local knowledge, not foreign intervention, may hold the key to future success. Could the Sahel's resilience now become a model for other struggling regions worldwide? Ibrahim Traoré's rise to power in Burkina Faso has set the stage for a dramatic shift in the region's future. For decades, the Sahel has been seen as a volatile zone, plagued by foreign interventions and the constant threat of instability. Yet, in the wake of Traoré's actions, a new possibility emerges, one where local resilience and intelligence could supersede external influences. This promise of a new path forward is not just about military might, it's about redefining what power means in a region long relegated to the periphery of global attention. As the Sahel transforms, so too could the global narrative on conflict and resilience. If Traoré's strategy proves sustainable, it could reshape the way the world views not only the Sahel but also the broader challenges facing fragile regions around the globe. Can the lessons learned here be applied elsewhere, or is the Sahel's shift a unique one time event? One thing is certain, the stakes have never been higher. The future of the Sahel and perhaps much more hangs in the balance. Ibrahim Traoré's bold move took the world by surprise and upending expectations in a region where many had written off any possibility of victory. But this turnaround was not simply a stroke of luck. It was the culmination of years of local resilience and strategic intelligence. The Sahel, a region once deemed destined for perpetual instability, demonstrated something unexpected. Local actors, with deep knowledge of their environment, had the ability to confront and overcome external challenges. In the midst of escalating violence, Traoré's forces broke the mold of conventional warfare by turning to a network of local intelligence, transforming the battlefield dynamics. What unfolded was a rapid series of actions that saw the Sahel shift from a place of near collapse to one of calculated resistance. The first signs of change came from the interception of crucial intelligence signals. These were not intercepted by advanced technologies, but by locals who understood their terrain better than any foreign power could. The rapid response to these signals, when most experts believed the region was beyond saving, marked the beginning of a new chapter. Within hours, Traoré's forces reversed the momentum of the conflict, achieving what many thought impossible. This transformation was not solely about military strategy. It was about tapping into a wellspring of local knowledge and unity that had been underestimated for far too long. The region's ability to adapt quickly and decisively in a situation where foreign intervention had failed created a new narrative for the Sahel. Rather than remaining passive victims, the Sahel's forces demonstrated an exceptional ability to act, defend, and, most importantly, reclaim control over their own future. What is most surprising is the speed with which the situation changed. Within a few hours, the Sahel went from being on the brink of collapse to being in command of its own fate. And this is where the real revelation lies. It wasn't the technology or foreign powers that tipped the scale. It was the resilience, adaptability, and knowledge of the people who lived there. Ibrahim Traoré, a military leader in Burkina Faso, became the unexpected architect of the Sahel's transformation. Unlike many conventional military leaders, Traoré did not rely solely on traditional strategies. His approach was deeply rooted in local culture, an understanding of the terrain, and the unity of his people. While the world expected another failure in the Sahel, he demonstrated that a deeply local response could outmaneuver external powers and their strategies. The early actions that marked the beginning of this shift were precise and swift. As soon as Traoré's forces detected an incoming attack, they didn't wait to be struck first. They turned the tables on their enemies by initiating action. This quick thinking and ability to adapt to the changing circumstances caught many off guard. In those crucial moments, the military forces under Traoré's leadership showcased their ability to move fast, coordinate effectively, and understand the battlefield better than any external actor ever could. Traoré's leadership was not just about military tactics, it was about the integration of the local community into the fight. Villagers, soldiers, and local leaders all played a role in gathering and interpreting intelligence. This collective intelligence proved to be the turning point. The region's strength came not from advanced technology or foreign expertise, but from an intrinsic understanding of the local environment and a shared will to survive and resist. What Traoré achieved was not just a military victory, but a shift in mindset. For years, the Sahel had been treated as a region of perpetual instability. Now it was becoming a symbol of resistance and local resilience. Ibrahim Traoré proved that local knowledge and unity could overcome the odds, challenging the narrative that only external forces could bring change to fragile regions. The events that unfolded in the Sahel were swift and decisive, taking the world by surprise. Ibrahim Traoré's military leadership in Burkina Faso played a pivotal role in changing the region's trajectory. What started as a simple yet effective strategic reversal soon snowballed into a major shift in the Sahel's dynamics. The first key moment came when intelligence gathered locally indicated an incoming attack. Rather than waiting to be hit, Traoré's forces acted swiftly, making a preemptive strike that marked a major turning point. This move not only stunned the enemy but also shattered the assumption that the Sahel was destined for further defeat. The surprise attack set in motion a chain of events that would fundamentally alter the region's future. Within hours, Traoré's forces, bolstered by local intelligence networks, managed to weaken the enemy's strategic positions. These efforts weren't reliant on external military support or advanced technology, but on a deep understanding of the terrain and a coordinated community-based approach. What followed was the complete dismantling of several enemy supply lines, particularly in the key areas of logistics and fuel, which were critical for the enemy's continued operations. This not only weakened the enemy's ability to launch counterattacks, but also provided a clear message that the Sahel could no longer be considered an easy target. As Traoré's forces continued their offensive, they relied heavily on the strength of local resistance networks. The military units, having long been part of the local fabric, were able to move with precision through the desert, turning the hostile environment into an asset rather than a hindrance. The battlefield, once seen as an unforgiving, impenetrable space, became a strategic advantage. Local fighters understood the terrain in ways that no foreign power ever could, and they used this knowledge to their advantage. The effectiveness of the Sahelian forces was amplified by their ability to adapt to rapidly changing circumstances. As the conflict progressed, it became clear that the region's survival was not tied to foreign aid or external military intervention, but to its own resilience and strategic thinking. The military success in the Sahel was not simply about pushing back against external forces, but about redefining the rules of engagement. The Sahel demonstrated that in a world dominated by conventional military strategies, local knowledge, adaptability, and quick decision making could reshape the course of events. By the time the dust had settled, the Sahel was no longer the same. What had once been considered a region destined for endless conflict was now a symbol of local strength and resilience. The forces that had once been seen as weak and disorganized were now at the helm of a major shift, one that would serve as a model for other regions facing similar challenges. The rapid reversal in the Sahel's fortunes was not just a military victory, it was a testament to the power of local knowledge, community unity, and strategic thinking. The world had underestimated the Sahel, but Ibrahim Traoré and his forces proved that when the local population is united and equipped with the right knowledge, even the most challenging situations can be overcome. The Sahel story is one of transformation, of a region that was once dismissed as hopeless, now emerging as a force to be reckoned with. The success of Ibrahim Traoré's strategy in Burkina Faso can be measured by three key indicators that highlight the effectiveness of the local forces and their ability to adapt to their environment. First, the rapid and precise strikes against the enemy's key positions demonstrate the extraordinary military capabilities of the Sahelian forces. Within hours of detecting an attack, Traoré's forces were able to disable critical enemy supply lines, including fuel depots and logistical centers, severely crippling the enemy's ability to continue their operations. This action alone resulted in a 50% reduction in the enemy's operational capacity, forcing them to retreat and regroup. The second measurable outcome was the speed of the operation. Typically, military offensives in hostile environments like the Sahel would take days, if not weeks, to plan and execute. However, the forces under Traoré's command achieved their objectives in less than 12 hours. The quick turnaround is not only a testament to the precision of the attacks, but also to the coordination and communication within the local forces. The ability to respond with such efficiency in a region as unpredictable and challenging as the Sahel underscores the effectiveness of the locally led military strategy. The third key metric lies in the unprecedented cooperation between the three neighboring countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. These nations, often fragmented by regional issues, managed to establish a coordinated front, exchanging real time intelligence and sharing resources effectively. This trilateral cooperation had never been seen before in the region, and it played a significant role in the success of the operation. Local intelligence networks were integrated across borders, allowing for an unparalleled flow of information that enabled Traoré's forces to anticipate enemy movements and adjust their strategies accordingly. This cooperation was instrumental in enabling quick decision-making and precise execution. The Sahel's forces, which had previously struggled with the lack of coordination and external support, were now able to operate as a unified force. The ability to gather intelligence locally rather than relying on external sources proved crucial in ensuring the success of the operation. The use of locally manufactured drones, for example, allowed the forces to gather and transmit information in real time, allowing for rapid responses to emerging threats. What makes these indicators even more significant is the fact that they were achieved without relying on external military support. The Sahel's forces demonstrated that, despite the lack of advanced foreign equipment, they could outmaneuver and outlast their adversaries through ingenuity, quick thinking, and a profound understanding of their environment. In contrast to external military interventions, which often fail due to logistical challenges, the Sahel's forces use their local knowledge to bypass many of the common pitfalls. Their ability to thrive without reliance on foreign aid or advanced weaponry not only shifted the tide of the conflict, but also challenged the conventional wisdom that outside intervention was necessary for success in such unstable regions. This change in dynamics presents a powerful argument for the potential of local forces in conflict zones. The Sahel's experience has demonstrated that local knowledge and adaptability, when combined with strategic thinking and unity, can create powerful outcomes even in the most difficult circumstances. The success of Ibrahim Traoré and his forces has sparked a lively debate among experts and analysts, with two distinct viewpoints emerging. On one side, critics argued that the victory in the Sahel could never have been achieved without some form of external support. They point to the speed and precision of the attacks, as well as the high level of coordination between the forces of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, and suggest that foreign assistance, whether in the form of technology, training, or logistics, played a crucial role. Some even claim that the advanced surveillance systems and drones used by Traoré's forces were, in part, supplied or supported by external actors, questioning whether the victory would have been possible without this technological edge. While these criticisms hold some weight, they fail to acknowledge the fundamental role that local knowledge and adaptability played in the Sahel's success. Traoré's forces didn't rely on external military powers or cutting edge technology. They harnessed a deep understanding of the environment, the local terrain, and the communities they were fighting to protect. Unlike many foreign interventions which struggle with the complexities of unfamiliar territories, the forces in the Sahel had a natural advantage. They knew the land, the people, and the intricacies of the conflict. The success was not about having the most advanced military equipment, but about using what was available in innovative ways. Traoré's forces employed locally produced drones, and local intelligence networks were key in gathering crucial information that allowed them to stay one step ahead of the enemy. This local expertise made all the difference when it came to adapting to changing conditions and responding quickly to threats. They knew the terrain better than anyone, which allowed them to make the most out of the resources at their disposal. Furthermore, the Sahel's victory demonstrates the power of community solidarity and internal cohesion. The coordination between soldiers, local leaders, and civilians was a driving force behind the success of the operation. While external factors may have played a minor role, it was the unity and resilience of the local people that ultimately made the difference. The Sahel's forces didn't just resist foreign intervention, they adapted, thrived, and ultimately succeeded in reshaping the narrative of their region. Therefore, while it's true that some external support might have been involved, the true strength of the Sahel's success lies in its ability to harness local resources, knowledge, and unity to achieve a remarkable military and strategic victory. The resilience and adaptability of the Sahel's forces challenge the prevailing belief that only external powers can bring about change in fragile regions. In reality, it is local strength, when properly coordinated, that can reshape the course of history. The Sahel, long seen as a region marked by conflict and instability, has now become a surprising symbol of resilience and transformation. Ibrahim Traoré's swift military action has proven that local forces, when unified and well coordinated, can overcome overwhelming odds. But the real revelation here is not just in the success of the military operation. It lies in the broader implications of what this victory represents for the future of the Sahel and similar regions around the world. For decades, external forces and foreign interventions have been seen as the solution to conflicts in the Sahel, but Traoré's leadership has shattered this paradigm. His ability to harness local knowledge, community solidarity, and tactical ingenuity has upended the expectation that only external actors can bring about meaningful change. This is a pivotal moment. The Sahel is rewriting its own narrative, proving that it can overcome adversity without relying on foreign powers. As the Sahel begins to regain control of its future, it's becoming clear that the key to this transformation lies not in military might, but in the strength of local unity and the ability to adapt to shifting realities. What began as a struggle for survival is now a testament to the Sahel's potential to reshape its destiny. The transformation of the Sahel, once seen as a region of inevitable failure, is now being watched closely by nations around the world. Ibrahim Traoré's actions in Burkina Faso have not only shifted the regional balance of power, but have also set a new precedent for how local communities can challenge outside influence and reshape their own futures. This transformation, however, is not just a military or political victory. It has far reaching implications for the people of the Sahel and their role in the global order. For the local population, the effects are immediate and tangible. The villages that had been abandoned, ravaged by years of violence and instability, are now witnessing a return to normalcy. Families are returning to their homes, rebuilding their lives, and finding new hope. The once depleted markets are reopening, and commerce is starting to flow once again. This resurgence in daily life is not just about economic recovery, but about reclaiming a sense of agency. The people of the Sahel are no longer passive recipients of aid. They are active participants in their own recovery and future. For the youth of the region, Traoré's success is a beacon of hope. Young people who have long been disenfranchised by a lack of opportunities and the constant threat of violence now see a path forward. Universities and training programs are gaining traction as the new generation seeks to define a future where they are no longer dependent on external forces. This newfound optimism is a powerful force for change, and it is beginning to reshape the aspirations of young people across the region. On a regional level, the success of the Sahel has prompted other African nations to reconsider their own strategies for stability and development. The cooperation between Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger during the conflict has demonstrated the potential of regional solidarity. If this cooperation continues to strengthen, the Sahel could become a model of regional governance, where countries work together to solve shared problems without relying on outside intervention. The ripple effect of this newfound unity could inspire other regions in Africa and beyond to explore more localized solutions to their challenges. Internationally, the Sahel's shift is challenging traditional notions of power and intervention. For decades, the world has viewed the region as a place where foreign aid and military intervention were essential. However, the Sahel has shown that local resilience, adaptability, and unity can provide a more sustainable solution. This could lead to a re-evaluation of international approaches to conflict and development. The success of the Sahel challenges the idea that the West or other external powers must lead the way in resolving global conflicts. Instead, it suggests that local solutions, driven by the people who know the terrain best, can be more effective in the long run. The consequences of this transformation extend far beyond the Sahel itself. If this model of resilience can be replicated in other regions, it could fundamentally change the way the world approaches conflict, governance, and development. The Sahel is not just a symbol of survival, it is becoming a symbol of empowerment, and its story could inspire other struggling regions to take control of their own destinies. The ripple effect of this transformation could have global implications, from Africa to the Middle East to Latin America, as the world looks to the Sahel as an example of how local knowledge, unity, and resilience can change the course of history. As the Sahel begins to emerge from a period of prolonged instability, the next 6 to 12 months will be crucial in determining whether the region can maintain its newfound momentum. There are several possible scenarios for the future. each shaped by the internal dynamics of the Sahel and its relationships with external powers. These scenarios range from the most optimistic, where regional cooperation and resilience continue to strengthen, to a more pessimistic outlook, where external pressures and internal divisions could lead to setbacks. Dans les scénarios le plus optimistes, the Sahel's transformation becomes a model for the entire region. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger continue to deepen their cooperation, creating a unified front against common challenges. The local economies begin to stabilize as trade routes are restored and investment flows into infrastructure and services. Regional governments, inspired by the success of their collective efforts, forge stronger ties, setting the stage for long-term peace and development. The youth of the Sahel, now more empowered and educated, begin to shape a new era of governance, with an emphasis on self-reliance, innovation, and regional solidarity. This scenario sees the Sahel becoming an example for other conflict-affected regions, offering a blueprint for how local knowledge and unity can overcome global challenges. Dans un scénario plus nuancé, the Sahel stabilizes but faces significant hurdles along the way. While the military and political landscape improves, internal divisions and economic challenges continue to present obstacles. The cooperation between the three Sahelian countries remains strong, but tensions may arise over differing priorities and resources. Despite this, the region's reliance on local knowledge and the cohesion of its communities continue to drive progress. However, external pressures such as sanctions or diplomatic isolation may slow down the pace of development. While the situation improves, it remains fragile and it will take time before the region can fully realize its potential. Et dans le scénario le plus pessimiste, the gains made in the past year begin to unravel due to external interference and internal strife. The Sahel could face renewed pressure from foreign powers, leading to political and economic destabilization. The unity between Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger could fray as competing interests emerge, and tensions within the local population could escalate. Armed groups and insurgencies could exploit these divisions, sparking a return to conflict. In this scenario, the Sahel would struggle to maintain control over its destiny, and the progress made under Ibrahim Traoré's leadership could be undermined. External actors might regain influence, reinforcing the idea that the Sahel is incapable of managing its own affairs without foreign intervention. Regardless of which scenario unfolds, the next 6 to 12 months will be critical. The Sahel stands at a crossroads, and its ability to navigate these challenges will determine its future. The key to success lies in maintaining internal cohesion, fostering regional cooperation, and ensuring that the people of the Sahel remain at the heart of the region's transformation. The transformation taking place in the Sahel is more than just a political or military shift. It's a story of resilience, empowerment, and the possibility of self-determination in a world often dominated by external powers. As the Sahel regains control over its destiny, the implications are profound, not only for the region but for all those watching from afar. For many around the world, the Sahel has long been seen as a place of conflict, despair, and dependence on foreign aid. But what if the real lesson of the Sahel's recent success is that no region is destined for perpetual instability? What if, instead of waiting for outside intervention, regions in crisis could harness their own strength, their own resources, and their own communities to chart a path toward peace and prosperity? The Sahel's experience is an invitation to rethink how we approach conflict resolution, development, and resilience. This new narrative, one that centers on local knowledge, unity, and adaptability, challenges the dominant global narrative. It forces us to ask ourselves, Are we, in our own communities, as ready to take control of our futures as the people of the Sahel? Can we too redefine what's possible when we come together, leverage our strengths, and use what we know to solve our own problems? The Sahel's transformation is not just a triumph of a region, it is a wake up call for the world. It is a reminder that true resilience comes from within, and that the most powerful solutions often lie right in front of us, waiting to be recognized and embraced. The question now is, will the world listen, and will other regions follow the Sahel's lead? The future of the Sahel as it stands hinges on the strategic decisions made in the coming months. While the region has already shown remarkable resilience, the path to long-term stability and prosperity will require a comprehensive step-by-step approach. Voici une feuille de route possible pour une transformation durable du Sahel. D'abord, il s'agit de sécuriser les acquis locaux. Concrètement, la première priorité consiste à solidify the gains made so far by ensuring the security of newly stabilized areas. This involves strengthening local patrols, establishing more robust community defense networks, and improving coordination between the various national forces of Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. Maintaining peace within these regions will be critical to rebuilding the economy and restoring confidence among the population. Ensuite, il faut renforcer les infrastructures. La deuxième étape consiste à rebuild and expand key infrastructure. Roads, markets, schools, and hospitals all need urgent attention to kickstart economic activities and provide essential services to the population. Investment in these areas will not only restore normalcy, but also create the foundation for sustainable growth. By prioritizing local governance in infrastructure projects, the Sahel can ensure that these improvements align with the needs and priorities of the community. Puis, il devient essentiel de former une nouvelle génération de leaders. L'éducation et la formation joueront un rôle vital pour assurer la résilience future du Sahel. Il faut donc développer des programmes qui empower the youth with skills in leadership, agriculture, technology, and governance, will create a new generation capable of taking on the mantle of responsibility. The rise of local leaders who are educated in regional realities will help the Sahel move beyond dependency and foster self-sufficiency. Enfin, il convient d'approfondir la coopération régionale. La dernière étape consiste à institutionalizing the regional cooperation that has already been successful during the conflict. This means strengthening ties between Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger, while also integrating other neighboring countries in the broader Sahel region. A unified Sahel focused on joint security, economic development, and political cohesion can become a strong regional bloc capable of navigating both local and global challenges. The road ahead for the Sahel is not without its challenges, but with strategic planning, local involvement, and a commitment to unity, the region can achieve long-lasting stability and prosperity. Ibrahim Traoré and his forces have changed the course of the Sahel's history, turning what seemed like an inevitable path of destruction into a story of resilience and hope. This transformation is not just about military success. It's about reclaiming a sense of self-determination, a new identity for the people of the Sahel who had long been marginalized and overlooked. The Sahel is no longer a region defined by foreign intervention and despair. Instead, it is a symbol of what is possible when local communities come together, when resilience and unity become the driving forces of change. Ibrahim Traoré's leadership has shown the world that even in the most difficult circumstances, a region can take control of its own future. As the Sahel rebuilds, the people of the region will carry with them the lessons learned during this tumultuous period. They have proven that the power of local knowledge, combined with the strength of a unified community, can overcome even the most daunting challenges. The Sahel story is one of transformation, of turning the tide from a place of conflict to one of self reliance and renewed hope. This journey is not over, but what Ibrahim Traoré has started will continue to inspire generations to come. The Sahel has shown the world what true resilience looks like. The Sahel story is a powerful reminder that change does not always come from the outside, it comes from within. Ibrahim Traoré and his forces have shown us that resilience, unity, and local knowledge can be the keys to overcoming even the most daunting challenges. As the region continues to rebuild and redefine its future, we must ask ourselves, how can we apply the same principles of local strength, adaptability, and cooperation to the challenges we face in our own communities? The Sahel's transformation is not just a victory for the region, it is a call to action for all of us. It challenges us to rethink our approach to conflict, development, and resilience. It shows us that we have the power to create change from within, using the resources and knowledge at our disposal. As we reflect on the Sahel's journey, let us ask, what can we learn from their experience? How can we take the lessons of the Sahel and apply them to the issues we face in our own lives, in our communities, and in the world? The journey to resilience is not easy, but it is possible. Together, we can create a future that is defined not by our struggles, but by our ability to rise above them.